For leadership, leadership is composed of three things. A quick recap, you already know this. I'm only putting some labels. First is command, the ability to set goal, vision from A to B. Our targets for 2023 is 5 billion pesos. Our acquisition target is X number of people retained in the organization, right? It's directing the path. Command also is establishing a good amount of fear, but the healthy kind of fear that puts professional line versus personal line. Command is when people respect you because they know that you know what you're about to do. The second is equipping, which is the managerial part of leadership. So equipping means managing the needs and wants. The person wants to be promoted in the next 3 to 5 years. What's the career plan? The person wants to be rotated. Currently, she is in marketing, but she wants to become a business unit director in 10 years. Somehow, she needs to be rotated to sales so she can have a full 360-degree view. What's your plan as a leader to make sure that there is holistic training approach for that employee? Equipping is also mentoring and coaching. Utos ka ng utos, but the employee does not have the right laptop. The office has intermittent internet connection. The software is not updated. That is also part of equipping. Equipping is also rewarding. So for example, the employee wants to be sent to a conference. The employee wants to know more about how to use a certain program in the company. That's part of equipping. And number 3, which I think is the most interesting part because it's not taught in schools. What do you think is the third element of leadership? And here's the clue. Leaders are cheerleaders. That's right. It's motivation. So the third part is about influencing, motivating, challenging, and convincing. That's such that even if the employee does not like their job, and we will have those kinds of employees. Yes, they're here because they're for the salaries, not because they love what they do. And that's fine. No judgment as long as you meet the bottom line. Ideally, we need to manage those kinds of people. But if they don't, your ultimate goal is to motivate them, convert their perspective from doing it because it's a living versus doing it because there's a purpose attached to it. That's motivating. So quickly, could you please give me a quick evaluation of yourselves? Which of the 3 do you think you're good at? Spectacularly good at? Shout outs? C, E, or I? E or I? Okay. Yung iba? O, ito na lang. Mas madali. Kasi mas madaling puminta sa sarili eh. Which of the 3 do you think you need to work on more? Okay? Or raise hands na lang. Who thinks that commanding is something that they need to work on? Okay? Commanding? Yes? Meaning masyado kayo mabait. You take it for granted because you're so close with your people such that even if they're always late, they think that they will keep on being late because they will be forgiven anyway. Right? So there's somehow lacking amount of command. Okay, that's fine. How about equipping? I will raise my hand. This is where I think I lack. I think I'm good in commanding. I think I'm good in influencing. But I have sometimes fallen short of training my people. Utos ng utos, ina-assume mo na kung gaano ka kagaling, ganun din dapat sila kagaling. And so, nagagalit ka because they don't meet the same output that you wanted. But it's your fault because you did not properly train them as well. That's also part of equipping. Okay? And then the third is influencing. Anyone who thinks that they can fall short from here? Oh, madali na to. Panoorin mo na ng YouTube video, no? O, motivate na sila. Pwede. Right? I need to say this as well. If you look at all the 3, you cannot assume na pwede kang bumawi on one aspect. It's not gonna be that case. Some people will say na, oh, hindi ako magaling sa commanding, pero babawiin ko na lang sa equipping and influencing. It doesn't work that way. That's not how fire works. Because you may be influencing, you may be equipping, but they don't respect you because they think that you're one of their buddies that they can drink out on a Friday night. Your position is going to be challenged over time. You may be commanding, you may be equipping, but you're not likable. They hate your personality. They respect you. So pag tinanong, magaling ba siya? Amazing. Lahat alam. But do you like working with her? No. You're also going to be challenged at some point. You need to possess all 3. The same way that fire will not exist if you don't have all three elements as well. Similarly, you may be commanding, you may be influencing, but you do not provide the needs of the employee, right? Simple air conditioning inside the office, if that was provided before, mahirap yan bawiin from an employee, by the way. For example, down to those smallest things.